they did.
You're not doing that. Skip, Miami offered the 5th pick and 3 first-rounders to move up to get Joe Burrow. They said no.
Yep.
Skip, when you believe you have that guy, you're not moving him. No, they weren't moving. You couldn't offer Indy enough to give up Andrew Luck. You couldn't offer Indy enough to give up Peyton Manning. Skip, when you have that guy, when he's been talked about like Trevor Lawrence has been talked about, they're not moving. And here's the thing, Skip. Normally what you try and do, you try to identify a quarterback in the draft, and then you build around him. See, if I give, okay, let's just say for the sake of argument, the Jets were to do it. They still got to sign that. So now I got to give up what? I got to pay him what? Somewhere between $150, $200 million? 5-year deal? Say 5 years, $200 million. That's $40 million a year, Skip. Now you've inhibited what I can put around him. See, the Cowboys can pay that because they've already got the pieces, Skip, around him. They've already signed, got CD on a rookie contract. They've already signed Amari. They've already got Zeke signed. Now, they might come back to Zeke and say, Zeke, we need to borrow a little something. We need to hold something. Let me hold $20.
Yep.
But for me, Skip, I think they'd be probably better served if they just go ahead and stand pat. Maybe if you don't like where you are, move back. But you're probably going to be in the market for a left tackle. Because if you notice, Skip, Tyron Smith, the injuries are starting to come with greater regularity, and they're starting to keep him out. He used to just miss a game, and then it went to 3 games, and then it went to 6 games, and now it's a season. So, but there's no way the Jets are getting off this pick, Skip. They're playing bad for a reason. They know what they're doing, Skip. They're going to try to move Sam Darnold. Now, I don't know what you're going to be able to get for. You're never going to be able to get what you get. You're not going to get a high first-round pick. You probably get a second, maybe a third, Skip. What did they get for Rosen? That's probably what you're going to get for Sam Darnold, but they're not moving this pick, Skip. They're not getting off this pick.
As much of a long shot as this scenario seems to be, there is one way it could happen, and that is once upon a time, a guy named Elway said no to, was it Baltimore?
Baltimore.
Yep.
Yeah.
Said, no, I don't want to play there. Really?
Yeah.
I don't want to play. Well, I guess we got to.
But see, he had a fallback. He's like, well, I got to play for the Yankees.
Baseball. Yep. Okay.
Even though he wasn't going to go play for the Yankees, and he thought, he didn't really like the owner, and he thought they were going to move.
Once upon a time, Eli Manning said to the San Diego Chargers, nope, I don't want to play there. I want to play in New York. Okay. What if, this is the only long shot hypothetical, if Trevor Lawrence told the Jets, I just don't want to play for you. It's hard to believe somebody would not play in New York City, but no to you. I don't like where you're headed. I don't like who you are. I just don't like the fit.
Right.
What if my Cowboys just lose out, which is possible after the debacle that I suffered on Thanksgiving? What if they lose out? They go to Baltimore and it's Lamar would be, I'm thinking back.
Yeah, he's going to be back. Yeah, it's Monday too, cuz.
Tuesday. It's Tuesday.
It's Tuesday. Moved it to Tuesday? Okay.
Yeah. Then at Cincinnati, I don't know, it's a coin flip. Then San Francisco has come back to life.
Oh, yeah,
They're
beat San Francisco.
at Dallas. Then the Eagles come to Dallas, and they still have that defense played really well there. And I don't care
it's a division. It's a rivalry. It's a division game.
Then end up at the Giants, and it could be for the Giants to close the deal and winning the division. So could they lose those last 5 games and lose their way? I don't know. Maybe even to the 2 seed because they're sitting in the 4 seed right now. I'm to the point where I was so disappointed in them on Thanksgiving that I'm ready to root for them to lose. Now, you could also make the case that if they win out, they could win the division. So I don't know what to do with that because it's the all-time worst division in the history of pro football.
6 wins, Skip. 6 wins is going to win this division.
Okay.
Can you win 3 of your last 5?
Okay.
Is there 3 wins in that last 5 you see?
Sure. In this year, I could see 4 wins.
You just sound confident.
Well, look, like I'm juggling balls here. My emotions are incredibly mixed.
Win the division or possibly get Trevor Lawrence or
possibly restock the whole defense by trading back and getting 3 first-round picks and landing a corner and a safety and a pass rusher. I don't know. Right. So, look. It's possible the Jets would also fall in love with Justin Fields because I think a lot of people are starting to fall in love with him. I don't know. So could that be a possibility? What if Dallas loses to the 2 seed? I don't even know how it would all fall out. It's almost impossible to say with 5 games left. But it's possible. They're sitting at 3-8. If they finish, 3-13. Would that get him the 2 seed? It might.
Right.
Okay.
Where's Jacksonville? Because I don't think Jacksonville won one game.
Too. Yeah. And obviously they're in the market for a quarterback.
Exactly.
And yet there are 4 quarterbacks who could go in the top 5 or 6 picks, right? So my point is, here's Jerry's dilemma. You keep saying Dak's price is going up. And you're probably right as far as Dak's perspective is going, his agent's perspective. They're probably thinking, we want Patrick Mahomes' money now. You guys are terrible without us. Well, I got to tell you the truth. We were terrible with you. We were terrible a year ago with you.
You finally admit that.
Well, no, I'm just saying, well, you won't admit it because you think Dak deserves the money. Well, that's just what the market will bear, but that's not what he deserves because he hasn't earned that money. I'm going to say this one more time. In his last 17 starts, he's 6-11. And for those who have forgotten what happened earlier this year, when he got hurt, they were 1-3, and they were the luckiest team in the world to have stolen the one game against Atlanta on the onside kick, the watermelon kick, right? So they very easily could have been 0-4. And in that Giants game, remember, they fell behind 17-3 with Dak Prescott healthy. So I don't know. How can I defend? I love Dak Prescott. I still think they could win a Super Bowl with Dak Prescott, but not if you have to give him $45 million because that's what he wants.
Here's the thing, Skip. As I sit back and look at it, I really can only think of 2 quarterbacks off the top of my head. The Jets might be willing to let this pick go. One, I know absolutely for certain they would. That's Patrick Mahomes.
Well, sure. Yeah.
Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, I agree.
Those are the only 2 because all the other guys, Skip, you know, even if you say, yeah, I like Aaron Rodgers, Skip, but you're not going to get Aaron Rodgers for another 4 years. Maybe, Russ, can you say, well, I'll be willing to do it. If I can just get Russ for 6 years, I'll be cool with that. But those other 2, Mahomes and Watson, no question.
Okay, well, obviously, I got you. Okay, unless Trevor Lawrence tells the Jets, I'm not going to play for you.
Well, I'm going to call his bluff. I'm going to draft him anyway, and then guess what? You're going to have to give me a king's ransom. I might get 4 first-round picks.
Remember, a lot of people thought Joe Burrow would not go to Cincinnati, except he was an Ohio kid. Okay, so you got a built-in advantage, right?
Yeah, so I just think the thing is, Skip, I mean, look, I understand the kid he's from Georgia, a suburb of Atlanta, and New York that's a big place, but a big city. But nah, Skip, I just don't see a scenario. The Jets have done some bad things over the last 5, 6, 10 years. Okay,
so let's talk about Jerry Jones being all about dollars and cents.
Yes,
the second word spelled S-E-N-S-E. He's looking at the mathematics here, economics, and he's saying, wait a second. Joe Burrow got 4 years, a grand total of $36.2 million, all guaranteed, but only $36.2 over 4 years. So will Trevor Lawrence, in a pandemic, get much more than that?
Probably 10%. Quarterback only gets 10%.
Well, everything's going to shrink. The cap's going to shrink. So somewhere in that ballpark. Okay, and Dak wants 45-ish million if going forward. So Dak wants far more than you could get Trevor Lawrence for 4 years. So Jerry's thinking, what if he's Roger Staubach, right?
That's why the Jets won't do the deal. Skip, for the simple fact for what you said. I got this kid on a rookie contract, and I can add multiple pieces around him, Skip. I can go because they got money in the cap space. So I can go into the market. Like you said, it might be a compressed market because the cap's going down, and I can go get me another wide receiver, or I can get me a cornerback, or I can get some players to add to make this team. Probably, if you get Trevor Lawrence, you're going to want to add pieces. So you're going to probably, you had Richie Anderson. Look at what Richie Anderson is doing in Carolina.
No, he's good. No, he's good. He's a little shaky off the field, but again, well, he can fly.
Right. And so, Skip, I'm going to get as many pieces offensively as I can for Trevor Lawrence. So running back, Frank Gore's in year 15, 16. But so that's
they're a mess, man.
Right. Look, one guy is not going to solve it. And this is it took some time to make this mess. Started with Mark Sanchez, and then you drafted poorly. And so Trevor Lawrence, although he's quarterback can get you out, it's going to take a minute though, Skip. It's going to take a minute. Jets in a heap of it.
I think I'm rooting against my Dallas Cowboys now.
I know you are, but look, Jimmy swindled somebody. Everybody, because Skip, everybody always talks about that trade. You know when they get,
I was right in the middle of it, man.
Can you believe that? Can you believe what Minnesota gave up?
Yeah, Jimmy actually came to me on it was the Saturday before the Monday trade and asked me, what if I told you I could trade Herschel Walker for a king's ransom? That's what he asked me. I said, seriously? Because I wasn't a big Herschel fan because he was nearing the end of his run.
But he had just led the league in rushes, Skip.
Well,
so
I got it. But he was battered, and he was just about finished.
So in other words, he was starting to tiptoe, huh?
He was tiptoeing.
Oh, interesting, interesting. Well, we're moving on from the Cowboys to the Clippers. So listen up again, Skip. Was Kawhi and Paul George's special